Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai, haere mai, and welcome to Petone Recreational Ground for this Jubilee Cup Top 4 qualifier. The winner has a week off and will book a place for a home semi-final in 2 weeks' time. The loser will have to play another game next week, which will be do or die. Here, though, it's a repeat of the McBain Shield from only roughly 4 weeks ago. Petone taking on Hutt boys Marist. Petone finishing second in the Swindale Shield with only 2 losses. And Hutt boys finishing third with 4 losses. They had a great win over the Oriental Rongotai last week out at the Polar Ground, which is a hard place to go and play. Joining me in co-commentary yet again for another Petone Hutt game is Murray Blanford. Murray, your thoughts on this game this afternoon?
It's going to be a tough one. Obviously, Hutt boys Marist getting quite a solid beating 4 weeks ago. They won't want a repeat of that. They'll have a fair bit of hunger to do better. Petone, I know they'll be very, very determined to make sure that they play a similar game to what they did 4 weeks ago, when basically they were very, very disciplined. When they had the breeze, they kicked it, and it turned all the Hutt boys Marist forwards around and spread it wide when they could. And that was just about the perfect game from Petone. It's a beautiful day for that. So a little bit soft on top, but other than that, it's fantastic.
So, it's also a special occasion this afternoon. Well, 3 weeks ago he was supposed to play his 50th, but he's playing his 50th this afternoon. Lossi Filippo playing 50 games for Petone this afternoon. Tell us about Lossi, Murray, because he was about to run out 3 weeks ago and then was withdrawn late, and he's been a real asset since he's come back to the Villages last year.
Yeah, well, of course, he played with us at the very beginning and did really, really well, and then lived out in Porirua, so he played for Norths, made the move to Norths, where he won at least one Jubilee Cup against Petone. And he's a fine player. He's been in and out of the Wellington Lions side, and it was just so nice to see Lossi come back to Petone last year. I know that Wayne in particular, but many of the Petone club were very, very good to him a number of years ago, and he's sort of repaying that debt, I think, by choosing to play for us. So it's fantastic to have him in the side, and it's a pretty exciting back line all round, actually, with Riley inside him.
So, Petone yet to arrive onto the paddock. Let's look at their roster. Captain and fullback is TJ Clark. The wings are Lockie Forbes and Tom Carter. Midfielders Riley Higgins and Lossi Filippo. First 5 is Logan Henry. Halfback is Cam Ferreira. 8 is Connor Tuival. 7 is Mason Henry. 6 is Jared Hurstich. The locks are Sam Tornesi and John O'Bailey. And Kafongo Katoa, Ryan Emery and Elapati Soki are the front row. And here comes Lossi Filippo out onto the middle of the field, wearing jersey 13 this afternoon. 50 games for Lossi Filippo. Back in the Wellington Lions again this season. Also some good news for Petone, Murray as well. Yesterday, Stanley Solomon has signed with the Wellington Lions for the NPC coming up.
Oh, that's fantastic. He deserves that. He's playing out of his skin for the New Zealand under-20 side, and every game he's played for Petone this year he's shone, so that's great news.
Hutt this afternoon. Fullback Ritz Friasi. Midfield wings are Ferretti Soala and Sapati Tangawai. Midfield is Jordan Glenn Bradbrook and Kobe Joe Vulu. First 5 is Flynn Rusco. Raylan Tuhoro Robertson is the halfback. Ben Tuio Manufeli at 8. Jordan Gillies at 7. Tane Tata at 6. The locking pair is Teofilo Polo and Asia Mafaleo. In the front row is Brett Manaya, James O'Reilly and Fili Talofanga. And it's going to be Petone playing to the southern end of the recreation ground. TJ Clark to get proceedings back underway. He came back last week against Porniki after an injury to his knee. Match is underway. Kick down towards Tata inside the 22 into the tackle of Emery, and they swarm around him quickly. Can we see a repeat of Petone's endeavours in McBain a few weeks ago, where they used their backs extremely well? It was probably their best game of the season.
Certainly was. Playing into a slight southerly breeze, although it's pretty steady.
Box kick from Robinson straight down the throat of TJ Clark. Slips as he takes that kick. Rushing up is Tom Carter. And Rusco managing to flirt with the touchline. Kicks it over the top. And there's no one home there for Petone. But is it going to go too far? It's bouncing towards the in goal.
Perfectly weighted.
And Clark sees James O'Reilly in front of him, tried to run around him, but decided to ground the ball. So it's going to be a goal line dropout by the looks of it, I think. We're just, oh, hold on, actually. We're just going to zoom in on the assistant referees. There's looks like Charlie Harris is running over to Scott McLean to discuss something. So it looks like Scott McLean might have found a penalty against someone.
Marginally late tackle, perhaps. Not that I saw it.
So let's have a look at this interrogation.
It's the danger of kicking into that breeze if it is regathered by the opposition and they get a little bit of space. It only takes a little kick to make the 50 or 60 metres, put you on the back foot.
So no arms is the call from Charlie Harris. And this will be a line out for Hutt Old Boys Marist inside the 22. First line out of the afternoon.
Full line out.
James O'Reilly, the reserve hooker for the Hurricanes this season, started a few games as well. Well taken by Mafaleo, and they put this drive on. And there's been Tuio Manufili pushing his way through, but the maul has come down into the hands of Glenn Bradbrook. That speed stripped from him by Higgins, but there's another penalty. Offside is the call against Petone. This in a favourable position for a shot at goal for Hutt Old Boys Marist if they wish to take it.
There's a worry I had that they would give away these simple penalties and easy penalties, and they've given away 2 already, Petone. They've just got to watch themselves, stay further back than they think they should. That was a fantastic steal. That would have been a very, very dangerous counter-attack. Instead, now they're steering down a 3-0 deficit.
So, man on the screen, Flynn Rusco, mostly played for the Premier 2s this season, but with injury to Brandon Lawson, who was here today with his leg heavily strapped. It'll be Flynn Rusco to take the shot at goal. 13 points in the Premiers. And that's easy as you like. And so, Hutt Old Boys, the first on the board this afternoon. 3-0 is the score. 3.5 minutes gone in this Jubilee Cup qualifier. During the match, we'll also give you some of the score updates from the other Jubilee Cup matches on, and also the Hardham Cup as well. Restart by Clark.
Perfect kick.
Well judged. Knocked on, and unfortunately, they'll get away with that one, Hutt, because he might have been narrowly offside. It could have been a penalty, but Charlie Harris has just gone for the knock-on.
He may have given them the benefit of the doubt because after the knock-on, a Petone player touched it. Having said that, he was still in front of the initial Hutt Old Boys Marist player that dropped it.
Well, this is going to be a great battle, this one. Hutt and the McBain started proceedings at scrum time strongly and then faded away towards the second half where Petone started to get ascendancy. So this is going to be a big battle today, particularly now with James O'Reilly in the front row. Ferreira ball in hand. Feeds it in. It's at the base. So push. It looks like it could be turned over. Yep. But it has. Excellent work from the Eagles. Glenn Bradbrook puts it high up in the air. Carter's underneath it.
Well taken.
Fires it back to Forbes. Forbes decides to have a run. He scored 2 tries. McBain goes for the offload and gives it out to Carter. 2 metres inside Eagles territory. Good offload. Good run here by Bailey. And they're right on the 10-metre mark now. Counter-ruck comes through from the Eagles.
Past the advantage line.
And here goes Ferreira, the whippersnapper halfback. Building up nicely here. Here's Lossi Filippo out to Tornesi. Forbes breaks the tackle again. Another advantage has been played. Forbes wrapped up quickly. Glenn Bradbrook's down, hobbling in back play there, Murray. Not looking too flash. And Clark takes it into contact. They're 10 away from the 22 now. Ferreira gives it out. Loose ball, but still playable for Petone. Here's Alapatisoki. Wrapped up. 8 away from the 22. Harris has had enough and he'll come back for the penalty.
JG doesn't look very good.
Well, he's...
I didn't actually see what happened.
No. But he has touched the ball once in this game.
He's touched it twice, which is twice more than he did in 50 or 60 minutes in the McBain Shield game. So TJ going to kick for touch.
It's a good touch finder by Clark. And he's looking in real agony in back play there. And it's going to be an early introduction for Keenan Higgins from jersey 22. Well, surprisingly, he wasn't starting against his brother Murray. This is going to be a real...
not a bad replacement to have.
Not a bad replacement to have. Keenan Higgins, of course, 2 weeks ago was playing for Hawke's Bay in a Ranfurly Shield match. So he's out there now. And it's really paying attention to Jordan Glenn Bradbrook's ankle, which looks in severe pain.
Yeah, no, and he won't be back.
So he's been carried off.
His right ankle by the looks.
It doesn't look good there for Jordan. Fingers crossed that it's nothing too serious.
Good to see. I think this is the Hutt Old Boys Marist game 4 weeks ago where Cam and Logan had the halfback first five combination.
It worked really well, didn't it?
Did work very well. It allows TJ Clark to go back to fullback. He looks slightly out of position, I thought, last week against Poniki.
So time back on. First line out throw for the Villagers this afternoon. Emery going back and stolen by Tata. And so they have the ball inside their own 22. Hutt now. Robinson. Box kicks it.
It's a good kick. It's going to be go past Lockie Forbes.
It's definitely got a lot of pace on it. As he just manages to keep it in from touch. Fires it infield to Clark. And Clark bangs us towards the grandstand touchline. And it's going to be a line out for the Eagles. 10 away from the 22.
Not a great throw, and again, dare I say it, way down the back. And there wasn't a blue player near where the ball went.
What we found is Petone always tend to do better when they throw it to the front, Murray, don't they?
Most teams do.
Well taken by Mafaleo. It's at the back there with James O'Reilly.
Got a good drive going there.
And that driver's going. Look at them go. They're firing on all cylinders at the moment.
James disengaged. O'Reilly.
Mania wrapped up by Forbes. Mania's twice his size. And oh, this is not good. There's another injury here, possibly for Hutt, as James O'Reilly's limping around.
Again, they've got a not a bad substitute.
Advantage has been played.
No, it was a... He's saying it went back.
Oh, went backwards.
Yes.
And tight. Mafaleo ball in hand again. And now an advantage has been played against the Villagers.
Oh, they've got a good set-up there.
Good set-up, and they've scored. And the try scorer is Brett Mania by the looks of it.
James is not looking good, so I'm thinking that might be his day.
So 8-0 the score. The Eagles in control, and it looks like Harry Press is going to have to come onto the field, and O'Reilly's afternoon is done, so that's 2 big injuries for Hutt so far.
Mind you, if they were going to be bringing on pretty handy subs, they're the 2 positions you'd want.
Well, we interviewed Harry Press last week on the Huri Hui. Was down playing for Dunedin Sharks in the Otago competition last year. They lost the final to Southern. So Russ Go to line up his first conversion. 1 penalty so far.
Should slot this. Very nice kick.
As you like. So the Eagles ahead 10-0. 9.5 minutes gone here in this Jubilee Cup qualifier.
Point a minute, which is exactly what they'll be wanting.
Of course, interesting, one of the Hutt water carriers is Chase Tiatia back from Perth, playing for the Western Force. So he's out there running the water today.
Is he playing for Bay of Plenty to run this year?
I think he probably is again. So, oh, good charge here by Royasi. And he kicks it through, and this could be picked up. Ferreira does well to slow down, and the Eagles are on fire. Higgins goes with a cross kick. There's no one home there for the Villagers, and that's going to be an easy as you like try. Ferretti.
Very good try.
Great try there for the Eagles. They're ahead 15-0.
Racy made a fantastic break. Nice, perfectly weighted chip that the winger for Hutt, Sapati Tangoa, got onto.
Yeah. So that was actually Sapati Tangawai that scored that time, but a change in the jerseys from the roster.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. No, it's I got that wrong too, Murray.
And then the perfect kick to the, wiper kick to the winger on the other side. So, boy, everything they're touching's turning to gold.
So, Flynn Rusco. 100% so far with the boot. But we'll be wondering why they weren't playing like this 3-4 weeks ago. Struck well, but unsuccessful that time, so the score remains 15-0 here at the Rec, and Hutt in total control of proceedings at the moment.
There certainly are. There is that Southerly is relatively strong. It does make a difference, but whether it's a 15-point Southerly, I'm not sure.
Restart again. Well taken by Saloa. So, Jordan Gillies with the ball. Good charge. Tony slipping off a few tackles that time. Securing around the breakdown. Box kick again by Robinson. Henry chasing up. Goes for a run. Straight into Tata. Brought down just over halfway. Ferreira fires it out to Clark. Clark offloads into Hurstich. Petone need to be the team to score next. Here we go. Kick through. Filippo's onside. He's chasing after us. Roscoe's got the ball, has he?
Yes.
But Filippo's done extremely well. Getting right in close there. And they get enough forwards back in time. Robertson fires it back out to Teofilo Polo. 5 outside their try line. 5 back. Taggart's charged down. Comes off Ferreira. And it's going to be a 5-metre scrum for Petone, Murray.
Well, that movement there is exactly how Petone scored 2 tries in the McMahon Shield. The kick ahead, stopping 5 metres short of the line. Too many numbers, and they managed to score both times. Today, Hutt Old Boys Marist just had a couple more back, and they were able to clear the ball. Having said that, Petone have got a 5-metre scrum, so the pressure's still on Hutt Old Boys Marist, but it'll be interesting to see. This is our Petone's first put in. Be interesting to see how the 2 scrums go. Was the first? Was that a tight head? Wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Sorry,
Yeah, no,
second
yes.
scrum. The first scrum was a tight head. It didn't move far though. It just it ended up in their half of the scrum.
So, finally, the front rows get themselves sorted out. Half away from the try line, the scrum for the Villagers. Front rows come together. Ferreira feeds it in. Hands on, oh, good pressure by Robinson, and it's resulted in a knock-on against Cam Ferreira, who's not happy. But Robinson sniffed the opportunity.
And the referee's not going to change his mind.
So 15-0 is the score here, 14.5 minutes gone. Let's have some scores from around the grounds, Murray.
Okay, so there's no score in the Old Boys University Tawa game that's being played at Rugby League Park. Upper Hutt Rams are up 10-3 against MSP. Oris are up, Ori and Tarongatoi are up 5-0 against Parramatta Plimerton. Wainui are beating Avalon 10-0. Johnsonville are beating Wellington 10-3. And in the last game, Poniki are already 17-0 up against Norths. Both Prem Reserve sides actually were in semis today, Hutt Old Boys Marist and Petone. And Petone just went down 33-30 to OBU away. And the Hutt Old Boys Marist Reserves also went down just by 5 points in their semi-final.
So,
or quarter-final, I think it is this week, actually.
Good scrum again by the Eagles. Oh, this one's been knocked on against Tuamani Fairley, so there's knock-ons galore at scrum time at the moment. So Petone will have the scrum feed again.
I think with that strong wind behind them, or the wind behind them, I think that would have been better to have gone back to the first 5 to clear.
So Harry Press getting the front rows together.
Great camera shot.
It is. If you're probably noticing, folks, we're trialling 2 cameras today on this broadcast. We can go in close to set pieces. They've also got the replay working as well, so that's good news here. Unstable, so it's going to be blowing up and reset.
Bit of an early push, I think.
Mm.
Not too bad a crowd today, really.
No, considering pretty healthy. Good numbers here. What's also good, Murray, is the field has been in fantastic condition this season.
Helps
considering all the rain we had this week.
Yeah, just this week, yeah, I think the breezes help, but it didn't. Last year it just got wet once and muddy, and that was the end of it. Didn't matter what the weather was like after that, it never recovered. Bit like the Hutt City Council might be putting some money into it during the off-season.
Let's hope so. Scrums come down. Ferreira, this time, making sure he gets it out quickly. Out to Henry. Higgins with the ball in hand. Wrapped up and slaughtered by his brother at the tackle.
I think his brother might be getting a yellow card for that. Looked like he lifted him past the horizontal.
So Charlie Harris was very quick on the whistle. And so that's been summoned out. Yellow card. And Higgins, Keenan sees the funny side. Riley gives him a bit of a cheeky grin at the end as well.
It was a fantastic tackle, but he then made the decision of lifting his brother a little bit too far.
Just a bit too far. That'll probably be spoken about at the family dinner table tonight.
And Petone opting to take the kick, which is an interesting option, because if they did the scrum, of course, Hutt Old Boys Marist would be 1 player down on the back line. Probably,
I need to get some points on the board, don't they? But it is directly in front, so take it easy as you like. Be TJ Clark lining this one up. 264 career points for Clark.
He must be close to 100 for the season too.
He'd be pretty close. Penalty is successful, so the Villagers are on the board. 15-3 is the score. 18.5 minutes gone here in the first half.
Sun's come out. It's quite a nice day, apart from that cold southerly breeze.
Yeah. A nice, pretty icy start this morning, wasn't it?
Ooh, it certainly was. A few tears on the Petone Rec at 9 o'clock for some of the kids' games. Couldn't feel their hands.
Tuival with a charge straight into Tata. Hutt trying to get over the top, but that time they can't.
Well, he's left his feet.
Yes, came flying in that time. Slow coming for Petone. Ferreira box kicks it high. Underneath it is Ryasi. And Higgins knocks it on. And so the Eagles have the ball. What can they do now? Tui Manafili charging forward into the tackle. Brought down by Mason Henry. Quick pass out. Oh, they've got numbers here again. Tangawai, ball in hand. He could go all the way here. And he's been slowed down by Clark into the 22. Press with the ball. Another advantage has been played against the Villagers inside the 22. Mania wraps it around. And Harris blows up for the offside.
Unnecessary, Petone. Unnecessary.
And the kicking tee is coming out.
You work hard to get 3 points up the other end and then just basically cheat by a metre or whatever, and you've got touchies, they're going to pick you up.
And it was interesting when we were here for the Parramatta Plimerton game, Petone, we're caught quite regularly being offside, particularly in their 22, so seems to be reoccurring here again.
Well, it slows the game down, which doesn't suit Petone. And on top of that, of course, the Hutt Old Boys Marist are getting points.
Well, just looking at the sideline, James O'Reilly's right thigh is heavily...
It was like that to start.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it looks like he must have been carrying it or something. So So 18-3 is the score. The Eagles extending their lead. 21 minutes gone in the first half.
Well, Petone got a bit of work to do. It's only a quarter of the game gone, but Hutt Old Boys Marist is certainly the team that's in control at the moment.
So Clark, restarting play, just outside the 22, well taken by Ryasi. Got an offload out to Gillies.
Nice offload.
Gillies brought down just short of halfway. Ryasi changing direction. Knocked backwards by Tuio Manufili. Out to Kobe Jovulu. Playing in the midfield today for the Eagles. Another advantage has been played for Hutt Old Boys Marist.
Too high. High tackles.
And so high tackle was the call from referee Harris. So penalties mounting up against Petone in this first half.
Well, Kobe Jovulu was fullback last time, but I've got to say, Race, he's not a bad substitute. He's made quite a difference.
Unfortunately, that kick didn't find touch. And so Clark kicks it towards halfway. And it'll be an Eagles line out just inside Petone's half on the eastern touchline. 18-3 is the score. Mistake by the Eagles, and so Tom Carter has the ball, brings it up towards halfway.
Made a nice 10 or 12 metres there, Tom. Oh, jeez.
And an uncharacteristic mistake there by Connor Tuivau. He doesn't make many mistakes. That time there, he's knocked it on.
Certainly a reversal of the McBain Shield game. Everything's going right for Hutt Old Boys Marist and not for Petone.
I remember that first 20 minutes of McBain. Petone were ahead 21-0. So an Eagle scrum. Strong at the set pieces, and that wind has picked up, Murray, hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah.
Whether it stays like that the whole game or not.
Robinson kicks it through in between Clark and Forbes. Clark is back there. He's got Ryasi in front of him.
That's a very, very good touch finder considering didn't have much room to work in. But again, a clever grubber ahead there. Petone with the one-man advantage in the back line haven't really got the possession that they'd like or want to exploit that.
So Harry Press with the line out throw. Well taken. And the drive gets going again. Right in there with the ball in hand. For Leo. Right in tight. Now they stretch it out to the back line. Toya Manafili offloads out to Saloa. Midfield just outside the 22. Manaya rampaging inside of the 22. Slowed down by Katoa. Ball's come back and it's been knocked on by Petone.
Unlucky, I thought he might have got the penalty for the ball not being released in the tackle.
Yeah.
Because he is isolated, Manaya.
So plenty to ponder for Petone at the moment. Trailing 18 points to 3, 25 and a half minutes gone. What's some of the scores around the other grounds, Murray?
Well, the away team's doing okay in the other quarter-final between OBU and Tawa. Tawa ahead 5-3. Up Hutt Rams are well ahead of MSP, 22-3 at home at Maidstone Park. Oriental Rongotai ahead 12-0 against Parramatta Plimerton. Wainui 17, Avalon 0, and Johnsonville 17-3 against Wellington, with Poniki rounding it out against Norths 24-5.
So scrums unstable again. Jordan Gillies quick to talk to Charlie Harris about what he's seen as the problem. Of course, Petone would definitely want the services of Peter Larkeye, but unfortunately, Murray, he's stuck in the All Black camp at the moment.
Yeah, lucky man, and it's a great experience for him, but Peter Larkeye in our forward pack would make quite a difference, I think. Hopefully they release him next weekend.
So they finally come together. Solid scrum for the Eagles. Off the back by Toya Manafili. Runs into Henry, supported by Tuival.
Great run by the 8.
Slowed down well by Katoa. Robertson, knocked back by Manaya, into the hands of Kobe Jovulu. Can't give him any space. He tries to offload it, but picked up by Forbes and bundled into touch. Referee Harris will say it'll be an Eagles line out.
Oh, I thought he knocked that on in that tackle. This will give Huddle Boys Marist another chance to set up a drive, which they've been very effective at so far.
So Harry Press, ball in hand. It's lining out 10 away from the northern try line.
Well taken in the middle.
And they drive it forward again. Petone looking to slow them down. It's at the back. Press has the ball. Bundled down by Forbes. They stretch it out to Manaya. Mafilio. Filippo trying to get hold of the ball.
They got numbers out here.
Press. Can Press
Huge
get over?
Numbers.
And there's another advantage against Petone. Got to be careful. They pick and go again. 2 away from the line. Slow coming for Robinson. To the hands of Tuifanga. He reaches in and has been held up, said Charlie Harris. Bit of push and shove in the background as Riley Higgins goes for a roly-poly. And we're just going to have time off.
Time for his brother to come on after his time in the sin bin, and I'd say it'll be a penalty virtually in front of the posts.
And so TJ Clark has been summoned by referee Harris. That will be a general warning now. So a penalty offside again. In decision time for the Eagles, they go for a shot at goal again.
Well, I'd be tempted to have a scrum. 18. Yes, they've gone for the scrum, 18-3 up, and a dominant scrum at that.
Learned lessons from 3 weeks ago, have the Eagles. So a set piece, a strong position for Hutt Old Boys Marist.
Well, if their number 8, Benjamin Manufili, takes it off the back like he did the other one, he made 10 or 12 metres last time, and he's only 5 metres from the goal line. Very hard man to stop. Ooh.
That's a free kick. Free kick to the Villagers. So, it's against a run of form at scrum time.
I think I'd run this if I was Petone.
Yep.
It's right in the middle of the field, be very hard to find touch, and if you did find touch, you're not going to actually make much room.
And they decide, they've listened to you, Murray.
Good.
Out to Higgins. Carter with ball in hand, supported by Filippo. Just outside the 22 for the home side. Out to Ryan Emery. And penalty against the Eagles for no clear release.
Yeah, no, the tackler never released.
And a bit of a push and shove and playful things happening in the background between Jordan Gillies and Jared Hurstich. They're having a laugh with each other.
Slowed the play down a bit. Again, I'd be tempted to run this.
Yep.
Everyone's got, Hutt Old Boys Marist got their backs to the Petone, and we've got a back line out there.
And this time they've elected to go for kick to touch. Line out right on the 10-metre mark, Eastern touch line. So Emery out to Toival. Played on into the tackle.
Mason Henry was that.
Here's John O'Bailey. Played away from halfway centre field. Henry wriggling around the tackle of Tuia Manafili. The hand to Logan Henry, kicks over the top. Higgins trying to get the ball. It's gone, being knocked on.
No, I think he said that went back. Came off Riley Higgins' back.
Yeah.
And then Hutt Old Boys Marist knocked it back.
So,
I'm not sure kicking's the right thing to do. I think they just need to keep turning the ball over, as in, you know, break down, move, just keep running this Hutt Old Boys Marist forward pack around.
So Petone line out. Go to the back again out to Toival. Tornesi, they claim for a forward, but play on as the call. Here's Filippo out to TJ Clark. Clark kicks it in, trying to get around Keenan Higgins. And you can't do that. It's pushing the player out of the way. And they've been marched 10 Petone, so discipline's become an issue for the Villagers.
Certainly has.
So 8 minutes to go, 18-3 is the score. They're just getting themselves in these situations, Petone, where they don't need to, Murray.
Oh, they're just very silly, soft penalties. There's no reason to do them.
So an Eagles line out just inside Petone's half. Taken out to the back line in the hands of Higgins.
Taken by Mason Henry.
Going through again. Feely with the ball. Wrapped up by Bailey. Looking to speed up play. Here's Manaya. Fends off the first tackle. Brought down just short of the 10-metre mark. Fulu. Wrapped up by Bailey again. Keenan Higgins. Hurstich bounced off.
He certainly was.
Keenan Higgins is everywhere at the moment, close to the action. Here's Royasi. Fends off Tornesi. This is good play.
Came
It's
off
gone
Petone.
forward. Oh! Whoa.
Jeepers creepers.
That did not look too good.
No. That's broken jaw material there. I don't think he's got much choice, to be honest. I don't think it all was done on purpose.
No.
Just a reaction thing, but phew.
Well, Clark's back up on his feet. That's good news.
There was a Hutt Boys Marist player saying, hitting his breast.
Well, it's just going to be a penalty.
I think that's sensible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good officiating.
It's not out.
So Russ goes underneath it. Gets around Forbes. Runs into Ryasi. Kicked high up. Clark back under it again. Runs it around. Cuts through. Offloads it to Tornesi. Out to Tuival. Press slows him down. Offload on the tackle. Great. Out to Mason Henry.
He's had it stolen.
And it looks like Tane Tart has done well to steal that ball.
No. Tony, you've got it back. I'm not quite sure how.
And now it's been turned over. And a victory there for the Eagles. But that man, Tane Tata, doing extremely well to get that turnover.
He certainly did. Probably need to keep on going out rather than go into contact. Petone had done 3 or 4 quick passes where the player about to be tackled released it, and that's what gave them the meterage.
So we have time off here as a Eagles player receives a bit of attention. It looks like it's going to be Fili Tofanga. And while we wait for this injury break to finish, let's have a look at some of the scores to close out the first half.
Yeah, well, all games are probably about 35 minutes into them, so nearly the end of the first half. OBU have got the lead against Tawa by 10 points to 5. Upper Hutt Rams are still ahead of MSP, 22-8. 17-0 Oriental Rongotai against Parramatta Plimerton. And at Wainui, they're still winning 24-5. It's been that score for a while. And Johnsonville beating Wellington, just 22-3 at home at Helston Park.
Well, the medics are coming off. That's good news. And so the Eagles will have the put in at scrum time. Up close to the action. Waylon Robinson. Feeds us in.
Oh, it went straight back out again. Easily won, though.
Higgins kicks it through.
Nice kick.
Chasing after this is Soloa. Oh, it bounces awkwardly. Throw it infield to Vulu, but he's knocked it on, but there's a penalty. And it's a double blast to the whistle, and it's going to be a yellow card.
Early tackle.
Early tackle.
Oh.
And it's Forbes who's gone to the bin.
Didn't see what he did.
No. So we're not going to plan for Petone at the moment, but that was a clever kick.
Not quite sure.
Clark's not happy with that decision.
Yeah, I didn't notice anything that Lockie Forbes had done. So
No. Well, pressure's on the Villagers. And they put this in close and they drive towards the line again. It's on the hands. You think Press might have it. They roll over. He scores.
Yep.
Harry Press has scored. And we look at this replay. And he's right in the middle there, Harry Press. And he rolls out and lunges over and scores. So Harry Press, another try to his name. $23 points to 3 is the score.
right on half. Well, 5 minutes to go, 4 minutes to go. That's quite important to Petone's efforts in the second half. And Hutt Old Boys Marist have got their tails in the air.
Yeah, they're playing with great confidence at the moment, are the Eagles. Flynn Rusco lining up another conversion. Used to play 85s for Eastbourne a few years ago. Product of St. Pat's Silver Stream. It's about 17 Stream Old Boys in this game, I think, from the counting I did last night.
Oh, he's kicked that wide.
Well, that conversion's unsuccessful. So score remain a 20-point lead for the visitors, 23 points to 3 with less than 2 minutes to go. It's going to be plenty to discuss at half-time for Petone, Murray.
There will be. Might be on the full.
That's out on the full. And so the errors continue. And Clark just walks back, shaking his head.
Those things happen.
So it'll be a scrum centre field for the Eagles. So all going well here at the moment. The Eagles dominating every facet of this game so far. I suppose one thing that Petone might have to their advantage in the second half is they'll have the wind behind them.
Yeah, but you've got your 20 points in deficit, so that's a fair bit to catch up. First 5 or 10 minutes in that second half is going to be quite crucial. And Hutt Old Boys Marist still have the definite set-piece advantage, both lineouts and scrums.
Roscoe.
Came off Petone, a bit of a...
So Clark wrapped up. They nearly bundled him towards the line, but he manages to keep it in. Vulu strong in the tackle. Here's Hurstich. Ball's been stripped by Mania. And so the Eagles have the ball. And they go through their forwards again. And look at this drive going. Presses in the middle again. Robertson out to Higgins. High pass out to Saloa. Kicks it over the top. Saloa scores!
Great try.
That is an excellent try as we have a look at the replay. It was a high, lofty pass, kicked over the top of Clark, who was caught flat-footed. And Ferretti Saloa goes over and scores for the Eagles.
That makes a big difference. 28-3.
28-3. Wow. This is probably reminiscent of that round 3 game in the Swindale Shield this year where Old Boys University were well ahead of Petone. And then some sort of miracle, Petone came back to win.
They did. Game of two halves, as they say. That'll be half-time anyway once this kick's been taken.
So Rusco again. This kick. Metre inside from the grandstand touchline. 5 out from the 22.
And that's a nice kick.
It's a beautiful kick. And so the half-time score is 30 points to 3. And the Eagles playing all the rugby at the moment. We'll be back in 5 minutes for the second half. Welcome back to the Petone Recreation Ground, and what can be best described is the Eagles are simply on fire. 30 points to 3, and Murray Blandford, Petone, they were in deep circle discussions at half-time. Let's see if they've done any substitutions.
No, I don't think they have, looking at the boys coming off. I'd say they may not be far away.
So the second half underway, and Rusco kicks this deep into the 22, bounces off Tuival's arm, and that is not the start the coaches would have wanted.
Certainly wasn't.
So the Eagles will have a scrum into the 22. Well, how spectacular was that try just to close out the first half by Ferretti Saloa? That was incredible.
They scored the other try that stood out for me was the one which ended up with the wipers kick to the winger.
Yeah.
That was very well put together.
Looking at the Hutt team, doesn't appear to be any changes either. So,
well, they've already made two.
Yeah.
Forced to.
Forced to. Robinson takes it into contact himself. And at the base, Mafaleo out to Tauwhanga.
Petone still with one man down.
Yes, with Forbes in the bin. Change of direction. Chipped over by Higgins.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, that was a bizarre decision. Henry decides to pick it up.
It didn't need to go out.
No, and it would be a line.
With that wind, it just needed to be kicked down.
Yeah, well, if that wind is picking up in intensity, it's actually got quite cold here as well too, if that's southerly. So secured by the Eagles. Out to Higgins again. Playing a lot more rigour in this game. Rusco driven back by Bailey and Hurstich. RFC.
He's very, very hard to stop.
Yes, and that's another advantage being played against Petone. Press brings it down. Manaya offloads out to Royasi. He offloads as well.
Everything's sticking.
It's all going to plan here for the Eagles. And Tauwhanga has a lunge to the line. Press supported by Gillies. Here's out to Royasi. 6 away from the line.
Oh, nice pass.
Higgins
Well
wrapped up. That was Hurstich. And they get the penalty. Petone.
So they'd obviously played enough advantage after the Petone penalty that had been given away. See this, all the space down the middle of the field? There we are. Well done, young man.
Yes, they've listened to you again, Murray. Taken by Tangawai in the 22.
Because all those Huddle Boys players are offside.
Secured by Riley Higgins. Offload out to Henry. Mason Henry, that is.
Great support play.
And they get the penalty, and it's Jordan Gillies who has earned the penalty. And he's sitting on the ground like a kid at a picnic, celebrating that one.
That was very well done.
So an opportunity for Petone, penalised that time. So line out, roughly 6 metres inside Petone's half, the eastern touch line.
Huddle Boys not in a hurry to get there.
So, press. Product of Hutt International Boys School. New Zealand Barbarians representative. Thrown over and stolen. Henry kicks it through. And it rolls into touch.
Got a deflection. Otherwise it would have been interesting because Mason Henry's very fast.
And some substitutions happening, and there's going to be 3 of them here for the Eagles. Jersey 18, Jason Hoffman. Jersey 20. We'll double check that one. It doesn't look like to be Mika Alafatu. I think Mika Alafatu might be with no number on his jersey. So we'll just double check that one for you.
Nonu Duia, maybe.
Yes, it could be Nonu Tuia. Yes, I think it is. So time back on.
That's not straight.
Not backwards, though, is the call. And play on. So Hurstich, ball in hand.
Started the play, and there's still 3 Hutt Boys Marist players making their way off the field.
Yeah. Backwards is the call from Harris. Henry, kick back. Press kicks it through. Carter. Tongue away, and they swarm around him quickly. Filippo kicks it high. Underneath it is Roscoe. It's gone backwards. Filippo slips. And it's kicked directly in front of Higgins. He surveys and looks. Passes out to Emery on the wing. Emery
goes into contact.
Yes, good run there. 12 away from the 22. Hurstich wrapped up again. And Ferreira firing out to Henry. Midfield out to Carter. Carter takes into contact. Ferreira looking out to his right. Tornesi. Running into contact again. This could be turned over. No, play on. That. Here's Filippo. Out to Tuival. And Tuival
needed an inside pass.
And he's knocked it on. So 3 knock-ons against Tuival this afternoon. And here's a substitution coming up for Petone. And Rich Studd in jersey 20 is coming on. Wait to see who he's going to be replacing. Looks like Hurstich by the looks of it.
Well, before that happened, that was probably Petone's best period of play, but they weren't able to quite finish it off. Lockie Forbes is back on after serving 10 minutes in the sin bin. So Petone back to 15, but it is Hutt Boys Marist put into the scrum.
A scrum, 12 out from their own try line, northern end of the wreck.
Be interesting to see how the new front row or the new props go.
Yeah. Well, both front rows just come collapsing down, so there'll be another reset scrum. Some scores at the start of the second half, Murray.
Okay, so OBU and Tawa are locked at 17 all.
Oh.
MSP have come back against Upper Hutt Rams. It's now 25-13 to Upper Hutt Rams. Oriental Rongotai are still leading Parramatta Plimerton 20-7. Wainui have pulled ahead of Avalon now 36-5. And Johnsonville still 24-10 over Wellington, so Wellington aren't lying down. And the final one is Poniki, well ahead of Norths now 38-12.
Still 30 points to 3 here at the wreck. The front rows finally come together. And it's going to be a penalty against Petone. Pulling away the front row. So here is mounting again for the Villagers. Ryan Emery not happy. And so it's all going to script at the moment for the Eagles.
Oh, I'll get that.
Oh, good. There you go. Oh, you've still got a kick in you, Murray.
It was my left foot too, Brad.
Line out time. Gillies secures it. They put the ball down into quarantine and they go for the drive. Presses at the back. Petone looking to slow this down. And press has been brought down. They fire it out through Alafatu. Advantage has been played against Petone. Tongue away. 9 away from the line. Harris was going to blow the whistle, but he's allowing play to continue. Press out to Roscoe. And that can't happen, but we'll come back for the penalty from Harris. Through the side at the line-out drive, so it's going to be another penalty for the Eagles. Elapati Soki's having a chat to Scott McLean, pleading that he did nothing wrong.
Scott's really not interested.
No. Scott McLean refereed over 100 Premier 2 games 2 weeks ago. Lives over in Martinborough these days. He's refereed a few Premier games over there, over the hill too, this year. Also known as the Vern Troyer of the Referees Association is Scott McLean.
And does a fantastic job with the others in Club Weekly.
Yes, exactly. Secured by Pulo. And they put the drive in again. This is a better by the Villagers. Ball still at the back there with press. Now they transfer it out to the back line. Higgins knocked backwards. Filippo chasing up. Fulu brought, but unfortunately it was a falling high tackle. And unfortunately that time Carter just too high with that one.
I think it was Lossie.
Oh, Lossie, was it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Not much to celebrate so far in his 50th game.
No. So, kick into touch, directly in front of the Petone dugout. So, 11 minutes gone in the first half, no points yet. Oh, second half, I mean, no points scored yet. Secured by Gillies. Look to drive again. The back with press.
Got to let that go. Oh no, it was a maul.
And it's been turned over. So excellent work there by the home side, and it's Bailey who is getting the pats on the back. Tiafua Paulo's telling Bailey to go somewhere else.
Jono's happy. He got the turnover.
So they'll have the scrum feed here. The home side.
Teddy Hearn about to come on for Petone.
Yeah, that's good. He's had a injury hit season this year, Teddy Hearn. Round 1, he got a big gash in his leg. Was out for quite a few weeks, then came back and got another injury, so good to see him back out here.
Very good player.
Well, they've been penalised again at scrum time for what they're exactly penalised for. But there's real concerns here for Harry Press on the ground. As he went flat down on his face. He's rolled over now. So the medics are out there very quickly.
I'd like to say I know what caused that, but I have no idea, it's being the front row.
Yeah. Well, I think he might just be a bit winded, but anything in the front row area, if you go down looking a bit groggy, always take it seriously. Well, they're having a good check on his welfare, which is good news.
I doubt it they'll have another hooker to be able to put on. So
No.
it would go to Golden Oldies, I imagine.
Oh, he's back up on his feet, which is good. And play time is back on, and a penalty for the Eagles. Kick from Saloa is banged into touch. Line out just outside the 22. So Harry Press back after being winded after that scrum. It's been overthrown. And And Petone have got the ball.
Under a bit of pressure.
Ferreira fires it out to Henry. And Henry manages to avoid Keenan Higgins. Knocked backwards by Saloa. And met up by the two Petone players, Clark and Filippo. Stolen by Higgins, offloaded to Clark, out to Lassie Filippo. And can he go all the way? And he loses it in the tackle. But he's got into touch first. And he had a good pass by Clark.
Very good pass. Good cover defence though by Hutt boys, Marist.
But unfortunately, no try that time for Petone. And Teddy Hearn is coming on to the paddock now, and he's going to be replacing Tornesi. It's a player who never really comes off as Sam Tornesi, eh, Murray?
Well, he didn't play last week, so I wonder whether or not he might just have a little bit of an injury, niggling injury perhaps, and better to look after him if he's got to play next week. Because it looks like Petone will be the team that don't get the bye next week. They'll be playing.
Yeah. So free kick against Petone for closing the gap by the looks of it. So a free kick here for the Eagles on the 15-metre mark. Higgins decides to tap it and kick it downtown and into touch.
Don't think it makes much difference.
No, not really, no.
May as well have just kicked it.
Yeah. So, but the Villagers will have a line out. 3 metres inside Eagles territory.
Well, they're running out of time to stage a comeback.
Secured by Tuival. Out to the back. Here's Teddy Hearn. And
too high.
Too high that time by the Eagles. Henry kicks it through. And it goes into touch, but play on is the call. Not coming back for the penalty.
No, it's past the 22, so it'll be a Petone throw-in. So I suppose similar result. Petone probably would have kicked for touch and may have been lucky to even get that far. Oh, they've gone for the...
Now come back for the penalty. Referee Harris just forgot that, Tom.
We'll play advantage, thanks, referee.
Yep. So Clark bangs us towards the 22. Gains a few more metres.
Yes, they did. They gained 5 more metres, so it must have been worth it.
So
did eat a minute away from the time, though.
Yeah. So line out time again. And Ryan Emery with the throw this time.
Ooh, bit of a balk there.
And lost and taken by Alafatu. Wrapped up by Higgins. 5 out from their own 22 now, the Eagles. Bit of push and shove. Roscoe kicks it high up. Clark's underneath it. Clark swatting, darting, gives it out to Filippo. Looks for the fend, takes into contact himself, but referee Harris is coming back for a penalty.
I'm guessing a late tackle on the first 5.
Well, looks like it's come through from assistant referee Scott McLean.
No, not Scott.
No.
No, the other
assistant referee, Tony Upton.
Yes. He was closest to the action. Oh, it might have been Scott McLean.
Could have been. He's rigorously pointing. Well, it looks like Petone are going to make 3 substitutions very soon. Torfilau, Sinclair and Hoskins are about to come on.
Bring on the young guns. Tom Carter kept that in very well.
Good work by Tom Carter.
He's having a go.
Runs into Hoffman. And there's another high tackle against the Eagles. Advantage being played. Here's Rich Studd. Rolls off Higgins. It's loose. We come back for the penalty. So,
not really helping Petone's cause, though.
No, it's not, no. So, it's still 30 points to 3 here in the second half. No points in the second half. And TJ Clark will kick this towards the grandstand touchline. And it does gain good metres, that one, right into the 22.
Well, Tawa got the lead against OBU, 22-20. And MSP have got close to Hutt Rams. It's now 25-18, so MSP are bouncing back from last week. Parramatta Plymouton have caught up. It's now only a 3-point game, Oriental Rongotai 20-17. Wainui 38, Avalon 10, 22 to Johnsonville, 10 to Wellington Axeman, and Poniki have pulled clear of Norths now 50-12.
Oh, wow. So, tightening up in some of the games around the grounds. Secured by Tuivau again. And the Eagles decide not to contest. And then they decide to in the end. The drive keeps coming. There's the ball at the back with Ryan Emery. Supported. They keep going, driving forward. Yet to score a try.
Made 10 metres, still going forward.
There's Mason Henry at the back with the ball. Now it comes down.
Penalty advantage for dragging it down.
Higgins kicks it through. Can Filippo get it? No. Oh! Wow. Referee Harris was very quick to blow the whistle there, and I think Lossie Filippo might consider himself unlucky.
I'm guessing he may have ruled Lossie was in front of the kicker or something like
Possibly,
that.
yeah.
That's all I can think. Otherwise, I can't work out why he would have blown the whistle.
No, interesting.
Maybe a knock on when they went to pick
Could be.
the ball up, but I didn't see one.
So it will be a line out for the home side on the 5x5 northern end. They go short out to Katoa. And Katoa, no, it's a free kick.
Not 5.
Not 5. So the errors continue for the Villagers.
Ryan Emery about to be replaced by Caleb Sinclair.
Yes, Caleb Sinclair. His 31st game for Petone when he comes on.
And Joseph Pinfold about to come on at halfback.
So those substitutions, Sinclair and Pinfold happening. Good game by Tuhora Robinson, the halfback for the Eagles and the co-captain. So first throw for Sinclair. Finds Tuivau.
Very good one.
Teddy Hearn finds Higgins. Takes it into contact. Still going.
Still going. Oh, he's coming the side.
Yep. Slow for Ferreira. Torfilo out to Hearn. Picked up again by Torfilo, the scraps.
Did well to get up and get that ball, actually.
Hearn again. Still waiting for that try. Filippo kicks it through. Tuivau chasing after Royasi. And Royasi does well. Pinfold at the back. Kicks it right under Filippo. Infield to Henry. Out to Carter. Here's Mason Henry. Henry goes into Keenan Higgins. Wrapped up. And a penalty. Another high tackle. And a double blast to the whistle by Harris.
To be fair, Hutt Boys Marist have put, basically stopping everything that Petone throw at them.
Well, Gillies has been called over. And this will just be...
I think a general warning.
Yeah,
for the
general
team.
warning, yeah.
None of those high tackles have been,
No.
dangerous or dirty, shall we say. They've just been above where they should be and luckily below the head. But they have to be called.
Well, Brafe Ingram is onto the field. He's replacing Mason Henry. Brafe Ingram last year was the captain of the Gisborne Boys High School First 15.
And he's had a few weeks off.
He got a head knock in McBain,
Head knock,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
He might have come on last week, did he?
I think he might have, yeah. Here's Carter.
making good meterage.
So Ferreira out to Tofilao.
He's made an impression since he's come on. Tofilao.
Good impact. Teddy Hearn straight into Tua Manufili. Into Katoa. Katoa rolls. Still there for the Villagers.
Too slow.
This Eagles' defence has kept them out at bay.
Yeah.
Tofilao again.
Tony man down there.
Bailey. It's Cam Ferreira who's limping around. Still got that. He's got that right knee heavily taped up.
Yep.
Here's Keenan Higgins.
Riley.
Oh, Riley, sorry. Too many Higgins in the game. Varnish being played against the Eagles.
Good D again.
So coming and the try scored, and finally they're on the board. And it is Tofilao as we look on the replay.
He's touched that about 4 or 5 times in the last 2 minutes.
He's done extremely well. So the first try comes for the home side on the first scoring action of the second half.
And another, I think it's Petone's last replacement. Emery McGill going on, no? Maybe not.
Maybe not. So, 30 points to 8. It'd be TJ Clark to line up this shot at goal.
Here he comes. Well, the Hutt Old Boys Marist faithful will be very pleased. They don't get the McBain, of course, because that just stays in the Petone Trophy cabinet, but they'll be very pleased to get not only a win, but a convincing win, and bye next week.
So Clark's conversion is a good one. 30 points to 10. 15 minutes to go in this qualifier. So Rusco with the restart. Oh, well taken by Ryasi against Max Hosking.
Bit of a size difference there.
Yeah. Push and shove between Pinfold and Hoskins in the background there. Harry Press, the back. Just outside the 22 now. Slow coming, Pinfold. Big charge here by Tuio Manufili. Out wide again. Nonu Tuia. Press again.
Made good yardage again, past the advantage line.
Doing very well. Here's Pinfold, looks to fend off Cam Ferreira. They look to hold him up, Petone. They have to release him now. Slowly building up here for the Eagles. There's Nonu Tuia again. Puller at the back. Tuia Manufili. Only 12 away from the line now. Now they take it out to the back line. Here's Keenan Higgins. Higgins rolls out of Emery McGill's tackle. And it's a penalty. Riley Higgins 40 had a right to the ball, but not to be. And a bit of push and shove in the background. So,
Coach wants a shot.
Yeah, he certainly does. I don't think the players are listening. No, they're not. No. Rusco's going to kick to the line. Yeah, line out on the 5x5 southern end.
Not much point having a shot with 12 minutes to go and you're 30 points, 30
No,
10
exactly.
up. Chance to really put the nail in the coffin.
So secured by Gillies. Oh, but loose. Picked up by Press. And try to his name already in 1 second. Head down and charging Free away from the line. They can go through Tata. Slow coming, they lunge. Here's Nonu Tuia. Ripping around. Good defence, and it looks like
turnover.
it's been turned over. And it's come out to the back line. Kicked down by Henry. Roscoe having to chase back over halfway. Gets the ball. Well taken.
Not many options.
No, and Henry gets over the top of him. This could be a penalty. Oh no, it's the other way around. No clear release. Logan Henry not happy. Thought he had every right.
Too quick for Charlie.
So, Eagles with another penalty. And Keenan Higgins will bang this towards the touchline. Good healthy kick. Line out 5 inside the 22. Grandstand touchline here at the Rec. 30 points to 10 with 12 minutes to go. The Eagles will go into plan, have a week off next week to prepare for a home semi-final. Secured by Gillies. At the back with press. Still going.
John O'Bailey came round the side. I'm guessing that's what that advantage for the penalty is.
Yeah. Here's Pinfold. They take it out to the back line. Roscoe kicks it through. Chasing after it. Over the dead ball line, but will come back for the penalty. Another double blast of the whistle. Been plenty of those in this game.
Well, while we deal with that, I don't know if it's going to be a yellow card or not. I think it's a final warning.
Yep.
Tawarara ahead of OBU 24-23.
Ooh.
So it's interesting. Up Rams 30, MSP 18. Oh, it's tightened up. Ori's 20, Parramatta Plimerton 17.
Oh, wow.
Wainui still ahead of Avalon 45-12. Jayville, 22 against Wellington 15.
Oh, wow.
So
Jeez.
that's a pretty good effort there from Wellington so far, and they're within a converted try of drawing. And then Poniki 50, Norths 19.
Well, there's a bit of a drama here because the kicking tee came out. And then Charlie Harris said no, they had to take it, but they said no, we're actually going to the line. So they are going to the line, so they had to change a heart. So, line out here for Hutt Old Boys. Press throws this in.
Taken in the middle.
Taken by Gillies again. And it's at the back with press. They look to drive again. It's going very well. Just short of the chalk. See the ball there on your screens. They pick and go. They rolled away from the line.
Another penalty. I don't know what that was for.
No. Out to the backs again they go. Charged there by, looks like it might be Tuia. Tuia Manafili tries to have a go himself. Pinfold stretching out to Rayasi.
He'll be hard to stop that close.
And they managed to hold him up. He's been held up. Let's look at this replay quickly. They do extremely well to hold him up.
Maybe a yellow card.
So Connor Tuivale is going to go to the bin. That'll be for a repeated infringement.
I didn't see what it was though.
No, it must have been maybe offside or that breakdown possibly.
Yeah, but Hutt Old Boys Marist chose to go.
Yeah. Well, he's ruled offside, so
Yep.
Interesting. Yeah.
Must have happened before the Hutt Old Boys Marist player tried to go over the top of it.
So Tane Tut this afternoon has come to an end. He's limping off. He's had a strong game for Hutt Old Boys this afternoon. That's the number 6. Press with the line out. Up to the drive again. Press has got the ball at the back. Take it in close. He's there, lunging. And Higgins is holding them up. Out they go again. Testing defence here for Petone. Filippo looking to hold them up, but they have to release. Lungin still going. Pinfold.
Probably going to move that left.
Yeah, they're coming out to the left now. Here's Royasi. He's going to go and score himself. And that will be the icing on the cake for a good victory here for the Eagles. Built up well by their forward pack. And he manages to get round Henry and Ferreira to score.
Deserved that try. He's probably, up for me, he's been their best back. Freddie Saloa not far behind. But he's caused a lot of damage. He always takes more than one to tackle him, so that's a huge advantage for Hutt Old Boys Marist.
His big frame is Fritz Royasi, his brother Salisi. Played with the Hurricanes this season, back up with Auckland and the MPC.
And Hutt Old Boys Marist, to be honest, has fully deserved their 35-10 lead, which will be a win.
They've had a good afternoon, have the Eagles.
This is a guaranteed kick over, I'd say, conversion.
So Flynn Rusco, 2 penalties, 2 conversions to his name. Lining this conversion up. And that makes it 37-10. Roughly about 6 minutes to go here at the Rec. Petone pretty much just need to salvage some pride here in this last few minutes, see if they can get another try.
They certainly do. Only one try in the game when, you know, they've been scoring lots of them. Beautiful day, no excuse weather-wise.
Oh, solid tackle on Tangawai. It's been turned over by Stud. Emery McGill doing well, but the counter-attack comes through, and the Eagles have managed to turn it over. Pinfold's knocked into touch. And a bit of push and shove in the background. And Higgins is sitting there underneath it all. Now Pinfold, Joseph Pinfold, of course, both him and Riley Higgins, old teammates from the first 15 at Silverstream. They just have a bit of a cheeky crack at each other.
They are.
Gillies and Clark being spoken to by referee Harris. We're just trying to settle it down. Jordan Gillies, of course, played his 100th game only a few weeks ago against Pornicki at home. So
Wants the ball from TJ.
Yeah.
TJ's not going to give it to him.
there's a bit of bit of drama happening. Scott McLean in the action now.
Go for the line out.
Yep, line out for Petone. So, after a bit of chats and stuff, it's going to be a line out. No quick firing allowed. There's been a stop and play.
That's right.
Throw comes in and stolen by Teofilopoulo.
I don't think he stole it. I think it went straight to him.
Yeah.
It was a gift. Just didn't have any pretty paper, wrapping around it.
Box kick by Pinfold. Ferreira passes it back to Henry. Higgins nearly trips over himself. Clark with the ball. Looks to defend and run himself. Ball comes out to Filippo, who kicks it downtown towards Roscoe in the 22. Roscoe bangs this into touch safely. And there'll be a line out for Petone, roughly about 20 away from the 22. And with less than 3 minutes to go, let's have a look at some of the scores.
Let's go to the
Murray
scores.
to see what they're like in the closing moments of this.
Well, most of the games will be in their last 5, I'd say. Tawa are still 31-30 against OBU.
Ooh,
that would be quite a boil over, although it was touted with all the players that came back for Tawa.
Yeah.
35-18, Upper Hutt Rams have pulled ahead of MSP. Nothing in the Auries, Parramatta Plimerton, 3 points to Auries, 20-17, 57-12 to Wainui, 25-15 for Jayville, and Poniki have now 57-19 winners against North's leaders.
They can go here by press. It's been stripped. Ferreira with the ball in hand. Takes it towards the 22. Probably didn't need to do that. He offloaded it straight into Tangawai. Pinfold looking for the options. Gives it back to Roscoe in the pocket. And good kick under pressure. And it'll be a Villagers line out just outside the 22. Grandstand touchline.
Inside the last 2 minutes.
Seen a dominant performance by the Eagles. Dominated every facet of the game. If you're looking at this closely, folks, Caleb Sinclair's actually throwing the ball over the line.
Yep, he did last time too. I didn't mention it, in case Scotty McLean could hear me.
Yes. We'll just put that in the review, Scott. Here's Tofilo.
It happened to Carter Barnes Park, didn't it? With Grant Fox got a try on the corner about 3 minutes after, and the touchy pulled them back for...
That's right. So Ferreira out to Tofilo, the only try scorer this afternoon for the Villagers. Hands of Higgins, stretched out to Emery McGill. He's put a foot on the line, but there's a penalty for Petone. We're into the final minute of the game.
Kick for touch or run it?
I think they're going to have a run here, Murray. Taken by Higgins out to Tofilo. And slow. Looks like it. Now there's advantage coming. So.
Must have slowed that down somehow, illegally.
Taken by Ferreira.
In one of his quick taps, nearly got there.
Yep. Wasn't held, so was allowed to lunge again.
Got another halfback in there in Logan Henry.
Yep,
handy to have.
Handy to have out to Tofilo.
I think that's the story of the Petone game today.
It has been the story of the game for them. They still have that advantage, though.
Sums it up perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And unusual, because he's played so well,
yes.
Tofilo.
So there'll be the penalty still offside. Cross kick out to Max Hosking. And Hosking will get a try that will just be a consolation for them.
Huge consolation.
Higgins took it quickly. And Hoskins goes over and scores.
That game is finished between OBU and Tawa, so Tawa have the bye next week.
Oh, well, it's Tawa.
31-30.
Jeez.
So, Tawa, I mean, OBU and Petone will be playing. I'm not sure what the draw is. One of them will be playing Upper Hutt Rams and one will be playing Orient Orangatai.
That's correct, yeah. So,
although that Ori's game's still not over and they're 3 points up.
Yep. Yeah, 36-15. It'll be TJ Clark to kick this conversion to be the last act of the game. Penalty and a conversion to his name. Strikes us with healthy distance. It's gone over. But it doesn't matter because Hutt Old Boys Marist are the victors this afternoon. They have beaten Petone, and they have the week off, as they will host a home semi-final in 2 weeks' time for Petone. They got some serious things to discuss about this game.
They certainly do.
And they will play next week. The venue to be determined against the team as well, but pretty much put it, the Eagles played a near-perfect game playing Murray. They came here to play, and Petone, a lot of things didn't go their way, but they made a lot of mistakes as well too. So there'll be plenty for them to work on heading into next week. But you've got to hand it to Hutt Old Boys Marist to bounce back after losing McBain 3-4 weeks ago. They've done it in style here today.
They certainly have. They've got their revenge, and 2 weeks in a row they've had fantastic wins. Last week against Oriental Rongotai again, and Petone just has to rebuild and focus on next week, cut down the errors and improve the discipline.
So that is week 1 of the Jubilee Cup qualifiers. Hutt Old Boys Marist have a home semi-final in 2 weeks' time. Petone will have to play again next Saturday. This has been a Huddy Sports production. Many thanks to Murray Blanford for joining the commentary. Our 2 cameramen today, Tamati Richards and Mike from Hutt Old Boys, doing a sterling job of the 2 cameras that we have operating today. And I'm Brad Hudson. Ciao for now.